Welcome, everybody. Today we are here with a new AMA. We have Robert and Natalie from Ezio, and it's also always, as always, Marcus from the Seedify HODLers. I think everyone already knows about Seedify, but just a quick recap. Seedify is a launchpad, a gaming launchpad. Um, and you need to hold at least 250 SFUNDs to participate in the lottery system, or 1,000 to get a guaranteed allocation. And as for us, the Seedify hodlers, we don't work directly with Seedify. We're just a community-driven project. It's not a project, but yeah, you understand me. We just like to do AMAs with every project that Seedify launches. We also do Twitter campaigns. We promote everything on Twitter, Telegram, and I think that's it for us. I don't want to bore anyone. So please, Natalie, Robert, thank you for joining us. If you want to introduce yourself, please.
Hey, George. Hey, Marcus. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having us over. So, I just going to begin. My name is Natalie. I am the Chief Community Officer of Ecio. I mostly deal with the business development and partners. I am based in Singapore. Most of my background involved in business, strategic planning, marketing, and I actually have been involved in the blockchain project. To be honest, not long before I joined Ecio, but for gaming blockchain, it's quite something new for me, and I know a lot of people working in startup gaming and esport. And so when Blas, our CEO, brought me into the project, I know exactly what I should do. So I start to invest in a few games just to get a sense, and from there, it has been a lot of self learning and tons of research. So everything has been an eye opening for me, and it has been a wonderful journey for me so far.
And I'm Robert. I'm the marketing manager, community manager of Ecio. I've been working on this project a couple of months. Also, things are pretty new for me. I'm familiar with crypto, blockchain, not so much blockchain gaming, NFT gaming. So after a thorough study period for me, I got super interested in the project and started to work with them together as well. Very exciting journey so far, and even more exciting for what is to come in the next coming weeks.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalie and Robert, for introducing yourself. Welcome the both of you to the AMA here tonight. So let's just straight away dive into it, and let's start talking about Ecio. So obviously you guys are a game launching through Seedify. Being on Seedify already means that you guys are building a great game. So can you guys explain to the community in just a few sentences, maybe 2 minutes, like what is Ecio all about? Just the basics.
Of course. So Ecio is an adventure fighting gaming on blockchain with a space battle theme. So basically, we are play foreign project, and what makes us unique is that we prioritize entertainment elements, and we are not click to earn. We have beautiful design and immersive game experience supported by strong storyline and unique character identities. We adopt a randomized mechanic to the NFT generation that is capable of create up to 41 million unique game characters. And each of the character NFT card will have unique attributes depending on the combination. So that means we allow players to be strategic when playing. Our game will be 2.5D, and we have five modes of gameplay, including the adventure modes, boss raid, and PvP co-op and guild war. And the drop-in game are like in term of, it will be in terms of the tokens and NFT assets. So one thing that I would like to highlight here is that we have a good economic model. When I mention NFT card, it's not just only the character card itself, but we have the genomic fragments, we have the blueprint fragments, and from that you have to collect at a certain pieces to fork the playable NFT, and these features allow players to build or upgrade their character and burn the NFT out of the system. And players can trade these assets in the Issue marketplace to earn crypto. And lastly, Issue have a very ambitious long-term vision, not just only the game itself, but they have a dedicated team, the comic team who wrote the entire background story of Issue universe, research and design game mechanic.
Okay, thank you. That's a very good introduction. First, before starting with the questions for the game, I just want to say Marcus had a power cut at home, so he will be joining us in a moment. Uh, if there are any similar projects on the blockchain, why do you think you outstand among the others? And if there are not, just say that you don't think that there is any project similar to yours.
Mm. I would say that not that we aware of. As of now, we don't see the direct competitor here, and of course, there are plenty of GameFi out there with the space theme, but we don't really see those who are developing an adventure fighting genre that truly have a rich storytelling or combination of the gameplay like us. So our team is creating something new because we inspired by the famous movie Star Wars, Star Trek, and not like getting the idea from the other game. And I believe that it is something that everybody can feel relatable to it.
Okay, thank you. So, talking about the Ezioverse, can you please briefly explain what is the Ezioverse? If you said you thought about it with Star Wars and Star Trek, is there something behind it, or is just a fantasy writer or sci-fi writer who thought about it?
Fantastic question. So Ecio World is the game universe that we built as a foundation to expand to the other business or merchandise. So think about the Resident Evil, LOL, League of Legends. They both are the games that have a very strong storyline actually, and they are very successful in expanding to the other product line. Just like the recent animation, if you have ever seen it before from Netflix, Arcane from LOL, they have a very good story to tell, and that is the picture that I and our team we are trying to build issue words too. And the storyline itself is, I would say it's harder to build, but once we have a great one, it's give us a less possibilities, and we are not just only going to stop from like just building a game. We are planning something ahead of that, and from what I see, engagement between the gamer will drive us in a long-term sustainable opportunities.
Okay, thank you for that. Sorry for falling out. Welcome to wonderful Indonesia. Let's speak about as you first when it comes to the Space Warriors, as they are the heart of the game. Could you explain a bit more about them? What makes them unique?
Yeah, so I can take this one. Yeah, so everything in the game revolves around the Space Warriors. You need to collect them and use these Space Warriors to battle other players, to defend your territories, to compete in boss fights. There are 4 different classes. You have supporter, you have fighters, you have nukers, and you have tankers. Then all these classes have different rarity types. You can get them in common, epic, rare, and legendary. And then every warrior is made of 7 different parts or body parts, and these are all randomized. And all these body parts, they are their stats and their function, they are different, and they will be in effect of your warrior's gameplay and how strong they are, what their weaknesses are, what their buffs are, and so on. And everything combined together with the different races, the rarity levels, and these classes, I think it's going to be about 40 million possibilities that you can have with the Space Warriors. So I would say that's pretty unique. And then besides that, also the design, the look of the characters, they are super awesome. I'm pretty sure people have been looking at them and loving them. And altogether, that's something that makes our warriors very, very unique and very special.
About you talked about the parts. Are they upgradable? I mean, once you have it, can you upgrade it, or they are just standard and you have to stick with that one?
Now you can upgrade them. So every part that you have, like I just explained, you have your different rarity levels. You have your different functions that you have. They also have different elemental powers to it. So you can have bionic, kinetic, electric, radiation, and gravitation. if you're not happy with any part, you can re-roll them. That basically means that you will use the Ecio token, and you're gonna re-roll the part that you're not happy with, which gives you a new one. You can also upgrade your warrior itself by combining the different NFT cards that you have, and in that way make your character better. So let's say that you, for example, you have a character card which is a tanker. If it has an origin from a certain planet, let's say Venus, that would mean that that character has the passive ability of increasing your HP, and that will make your character a stronger, a buffer one. So that's quite a good combination that you have, right? But if you would have a nuker, for example, which is another class, and you have that one in the same combination with the origin coming from Venus, then you have a character which is basically built for pure strength, and then you're gonna build HP on that. So that's not really a combination that you want to have. And in such a situation, you can take that character card, combine it with 3 others of them, and make it a better one. So you're gonna lose that function of the card that is not so much of effort for you, but you're gonna get a stronger character out of that. So that's really the important part of upgrading. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And then besides all these upgrades, later in the next version, you call it 2.0 for what I can see, you will implement different modes. Could you explain the difference between those modes and what will be required to participate in any mode? So please start by explaining what are these modes and what do they mean?
Yeah, so in 2.0 of our game launch, which is the beta launch, then we will introduce the first time the multiplayer system. This will open up more choices of playing, and you can play the game together with your friends. There will be 3 game modes that accept up to, I think, 6 people together, that you can play with other people together. The first mode that will be survival mode. Then you have to fight other players and their friends. You have to fight with other players, and you must survive different waves of enemies as long as you can, basically. And you can do that with 1 to 6 people. The second mode would be Guild Wars, where you can have 3 versus 3 or 6 versus 6 combat modes in competitive tournaments. You have to create a guild together with your friends or other people that you want to battle together with, and then you need to battle other guilds also for ranks. And in here, it's going to be super important of the tactics that you use, and again, all these different weapon parts and whatnot, what you have on your warrior, because you need to combine it together and make the strongest team that builds each other up also. And the third mode that we have is co-op, which is basically a separate set of missions that you can play also together with your friends. These will have a higher difficulty level, so also a lot of strategic efforts that you need to take in this game mode to make sure that you can play throughout it. And the item drop in this game mode will also be based on the efforts that your specific character is going to do. So if there's one person who takes on all the weight, so to say, then he's going to be rewarded also more as other players.
Okay. About the labs, I read that there will be 2 labs on the blockchain, the bio and the battle lab. What can the player do there, and what is the difference amongst the 2 of them?
Yeah, so we have the biolab and the battle lab, and these are connected to genomic fragments and blueprint fragments. In the biolab, the players are able to get a space warrior, a full warrior, by combining genomic fragments. You have to have 3 matching fragments and forge these together into a full space warrior. And in the battle lab, you can forge your equipment. There's 5 different equipment parts that you can forge in there, which are your battle suit, battle gear, battle drone, battle pet, and your weapons. To do this, you will be using the Ecio token. And whatever Ecio tokens you're using for these functions, they also will be burned afterwards.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the play to earn aspects in the game. I see that quite a bit of the tokenomics is dedicated to the play to earn. I believe around 40% of the total amount of tokens. And there are also different drops, such as the Lacrima token, the Ecio token, the genomic, and blueprint fragments. So could you explain a bit more about all these different aspects within the game, and also perhaps a little bit, since you dedicated 40% of the tokenomics, the total supply to play to earn, how you plan to implement that and make it sustainable for the players. So it's not going to be a game that is creating very high earnings in the start of the game when the hype is high, but also basically incentivize players to stay with Ecio over, let's say, the next 12 until 24 or even more months.
Right. Let me explain this to you. So we have two types of token in the games. Ecio is the governance token, and Lakima is a secondary one. I believe that we are probably one of the first project that drop NFT as an in-game reward. So when player play in-game in the mission modes, mostly it will drop the Lakima along with EXP. And when player finish all the missions that we have, and they will be able to move forward to the to play in the boss raid modes, and that will be drop issue and NFT. And the NFT type that drop in game will be the genomic and blueprint fragments, whereas the genomic is like a DNA of the character drop when you defeat the boss. And when you have to when you collect three of them or like at a certain pieces, you can able to clone the NFT character or like, and likewise for the blueprint fragments, like when you want to fork the new weapon, you need to collect the blueprints to in order to build one. And the drop is depending on the level of boss. So let's say that to drop the legendary card, you probably need to surpass the boss above level 30 or 30 each, and then you will be able to get there. In order to be able to get there, you have to make sure that your space warrior is strong enough to defeat the boss from the previous level. So you basically eventually have to upgrade the character and weapon through the biolab and battle lab features that Robert just mentioned. And for those upgrading process, you need to use Ecio and Dakima token. And by using the by upgrading those weapons and character, we will 100% burn out the tokens out of the system. So this is how we burn our burn the token and sustain the economic model. And apart from that, every quarter we also will take a portion of our profit from the game to burn it out. Like I'm not sure how many percent, like about 20% we will burn out of the system every quarter.
Okay, thank you. Also, if from the play to earn perspective, I've read about the treasures. Can you explain what are they? Does that mean that there will be a competitive aspect in the game? And those rewards, will there be rewarded to the best players or just randomly?
Well, I think like will it reward? I would say it will be like a weight random reward. So it will just only weight accordingly to the winners, and just that I mentioned earlier, our project is uniqueness is like we are probably one of the first project that we can drop the NFT for the players. And unlike the other game in the project, reward is that have the reward of the governance token or secondary token. Our game is much more complex because we also drop an NFT, right? And those NFT are in form of fragments like the genomic and the weapon blueprints that players can use to upgrade their character in the game. And those those upgrading process is not so straightforward because you need to collect the same type of the fragments and at a certain amount of of pieces in order to upgrade the character. So this is like a mechanic behind that we try to shape the treasures. And regarding the drop rate, I think it depends on the level. It's more of like that. Like when you play the game and even though you like defeat some boss or missions, then if you lose, you might not get anything. You have to win in order to get a reward that you collect in the game. So that will be how it works.
Okay, thank you. So moving on now to the marketplace. Is it going to be exclusive for Ezio, or do you plan to add other games into it? Or
It
you just said,
will.
sorry, I go
Okay.
ahead.
It will definitely be exclusive for Ecio, but I'm not sure whether the other game want to be listed in the other marketplace. But talking in terms of feasibility, I think it's doable for the other project to list their NFT in Ecio marketplace. Just to take this further, if we could be able to leverage the feature as part of the launchpad in the future, it would be a lot of value that we could bring to the new project, and so that we can help the other early stage game save time of development by listing their NFT in our marketplace. And you know that fundraising, it might could be in term of NFT as well instead of just the token alone. So that could be one way, and at the same time we can help them promote the project through our communities, or alternatively it could be something like we can clone our marketplace and make it like a template for other game to easily implement on the decentralized application. That would be something that I could think of.
All right, thank you. Let's continue a bit about the marketplace. So I read there's something that you call Couper Tuan, Solarian Merchants Association, and Refinery Part. Could you explain what these things mean and what is the function of them so everyone understands
All
about
right.
it?
Those terms, it's actually not something new. These are actually just a different functions in the apps that we have. So we just don't want to use the generic name and to name our infrastructures. We want to make it special in order to provide the linkage to our Ecio universe that I just mentioned. So we kind of reference those names from the astronomy, and these are actually the real name. You can try to search it. Like the couple tau is actually for gacha. So basically, from our comic, couple tau is like the dark market of Solarian soldiers near the couple belt, and this is actually the real location in the galaxy. And there is a casino hidden in the smallest town there. And all the adventurers will go there just to try their luck for like lottery system. Gotcha. And for the Solarian Merchant Association is actually like a mystery box redemption feature that we actually already released. So basically the key strength of the Solarian is actually science. So when you go to Solarian Merchants Association, you will have to hand the mystery box to exchange for the item and NFT. So basically, there is no available technology at the moment that human can unbox it by themselves. So that's why they have to go to the Solarian Merchant Association. And for the refinery part is actually staking feature. So our idea is that we want to convert the token to something valuable for those that stake their token. So that is how we come up with all the terms.
Okay, now talking about the tokens. What are you already? I think we already talked about some of the currencies in game, but can you explain a little bit how will the tokenomics work, and what would you do in order to make the players hold the token instead of selling at the moment?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question also for investors, of course. I think what we see with a bunch of projects is that people invest their money first to get access to the game, and then they invest their time to get their money out, which is just straightforward, the definition of play to earn, right? But I think what is most attractive of Ecio, for me personally, is the longevity that is encouraged in the game. Just playing the game by itself, that will already be a very fun and engaging experience. With all the additional efforts through the battle lab and the bio lab, the skills to become better in the game, how to team up with each other, what kind of characters you need to combine, what knowledge you need to use the best warrior parts in the best teams, all of that together, playing with your friends, that's going to bring the whole gaming experience by itself already to a new level. And what's also important for us is that players also play the game for the love of the game, right? It's still a game. It needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging. We encourage our players to power up your warrior through leveling, upgrading the parts, and forging into stronger ranks. And the options that we have to enhance your character, there is tons of them. And by advancing through the game, while doing this, while making your character better, while playing with your friends and making your gaming experience more evolved, is something that is going to keep the players more engaged. And doing all those functions, doing all those upgrades, and making your character better, and doing all this forging things that we have, it's going to be needed to use either the ACO or the Lacrima token, or a combination of that. So that's how we encourage for people to keep the token in the game. You want to become better, you keep it in the game, you use it. So by investing in the game in this way, you'll have more fun, and you're rewarded by getting more valuable in-game assets, which are down the line also worth more money if you're deciding to sell your assets, right? And then besides that, we also have our staking platform, which we are calling the Refinery. And this is where you can stake ACO with either, I think it's BUSD or BNB.
Okay, thank you for that. So if you don't mind, George, I'm gonna do a little bit of a deviation here. We have plenty of time, I'm seeing. So I hope you guys also don't mind. I think it's good to have a bit of unexpected things in an AMA to expose the real passion about the game. So when I when I saw you in the previous question, you were talking about the socialization environment within Ecio game, which is what we see in off the blockchain games. That's what keeps people in the games. They can not only play together, because there's actually many games where you have like this auto matching system. That you feel like you play together, but in fact you're not together. You're just being matched together. You have 3 versus 3, but it's only just another person that you see in your team that is playing on the other end, but there's no interaction. So could you explain how Ecio is implementing the social aspects within the game, where people actually feel like they are interacting rather than just playing together?
So it's becoming, we're encouraging to build your own team, which is your friends. You'll be able to connect up with your friends, making a guilds with them. At a later stage, I'm not sure if I can share it, but you're also going to have the possibility of owning your own land in the form of planets, where you can do your own activities. Also, again, together with your friends, which is all going to keep that engagement. Keeping the engagement in that way with your people that you're free to choose from.
Could you describe a little bit about how you're going to implement the guilds within Ecio?
So I cannot say about it too much yet, because it's going to be a function that is not too much of announced, but it's going to come down to, how can I compare it? It's like your own clan that you will have. So it's going to become an entity that you have together with your friends or with whatever people you decide to play with, and that will be a part where you advance. Like the better you become in the guild, the more high ranking your guild will be, the more you go up in the rankings, and the more rewards that you are able to get with that.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sorry, George. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna steal one more from you. Just to compensate for the power cut that I had for 5 minutes. So the guild thing is very interesting. I also saw that you guys partnered up with Good Games Guild, which is obviously one of the things that they focus on. They're focused on organizing those guilds within the games. So the other thing that I would like to ask is when you look at blockchain gaming currently, I think it's besides the technology, which is very interesting, besides the GameFi, is the partnerships are obviously very important. If you if you want to go in a solo ride, it's still possible to go strong and go long, but it's a bit harder. So I just want to ask, how is Ecio looking at the future when it comes to the current metaverse developments, but not only metaverse, but also some games are already talking about this. They call it the multiverse. So how do you guys see yourself in those two aspects?
I think there are the generation of GameFi, like in the beginning generation, like at the early stage is more of like click to earn and turn based PRG. But then I what we see our game is that we want to be the next generation of GameFi, that we want to build the holistic and immersive experience for the players when they play games. So it's not just only the game itself that is fun, but we want to build a story behind that can support the game mission and the story of the character on what missions that brings these crews together in the game. So this is something that will create engagement and make the player feel relatable to the game. It's not just only the game itself that is fun, but they can feel relatable, just like when we are a fan of Star Wars, Star Trek, right? So it's not just only the movie itself, but you feel something more connected to it, and you really want to like involve around it. And we don't only look at the game as a game itself. In the long run, we have a really long-term vision for the project. So our mission is to provide the best interactive gaming experience for players, and with a real world application and a sustainable economic. So in the long run, we are aiming to expand our project to off-chain business, and in the especially in the entertainment. So we are planning to have like a comics for that we that will probably require a holder of NFT asset of our like one of the cards, and then you need that to access to the private Discord or like community channels to gain like some to get into the community and read the comics. Or there will be plenty of more privilege like that we try to apply to the real world business and expand the business model apart from the game and surrounding with the community. And I would say that animation is something that is not far away from us as well, because one of our team, the Brian, who is the game developer, he is the winner award of UN in animation. So it is something that is like a piece of cake for him to do something like animation. and and I would say that those revenue stream that come from off-chain, like animation, comics, or stuff like that, can be like things that come back to enhance to our economic model of issue game in the long run. Like there are a lot of games that they just only rely on purely with players' pocket, but they don't really have the uh, strong economic model to support in the long run. Like when they cannot like bringing in more investor or gamers anymore. Like uh, then they need to find something else that come back to enhance the reward pool or the community. So I think that would be one way.
Okay, thank you very much, George. I'm sorry, I'm stealing them all from you tonight, but don't worry, you'll get your time very soon. So I'm sorry. The reason why I'm bringing this is because Ecio seems a bit like a card game, and I've just been looking at, for example, a game like Crypto Meta, which is also a card game, and they have just basically converted their cards in 3D models, and then they integrated those or are integrating those in the metaverse of Crypto Blades, which they just announced in their Omnis upcoming metaverse, where they will use guilds, like for example, hosted on SFUND network, which is a trustless guild provider, for example. So the reason I'm asking is because it's very good to see if there are projects that are basically building on basically a hub of games rather than one game. So that's why I'm asking the question in relation to the metaverse. Over to you, George.
It's okay. I think we're gonna ask one important question, and then we go ahead with the community one. Um, I want to know about the secure part of the game. Who is auditing the Ezio, and how will you prevent the fraudulent use of the NFTs? Like people can cheat or something similar, or are you planning to prevent that?
Yeah, so we're working currently with two services that we use to tackle our security issues that can come up. These partners that we have, they are Certic and VeryChain. These are both top-shelf security platforms, and they are advising us continuously and helping us to keep the game a safe and healthy environment. With Certic, for example, we've been working to our Ecio and Lacrima token contract address, as well as our previous whitelist activities. They've been cross-tracking and making sure that our contract is secured. We have reached out for VeryChain for the NFT marketplace audit and to take all the necessary steps to prepare for the IDO. And we're planning to work with both of these audit platforms as a long-term partner. The technical aspects of this, they might go a little bit above my head, but what I can say is that the security is an essential effort that we take for our project, and we are constantly working on safeguarding everything for our investors, our game, and everybody involved, and of course for ourselves also.
Okay, thank you. So I think we can go ahead now with the community questions. For everyone watching, remember that there is a giveaway of, if I remember correctly, 50,000 Ezio tokens. So just go ahead to the Gleam. I know you need a code. The code will be shared when Sebastian wants to share it. Okay, here we have the code. And so now we can go with the questions. If you have any, please just share it on the chat stream. So Victoria is asking, what about the future plans? Because I'm a long-term holder, never selling the tokens. I'm gonna twist it a little bit. What is your future plans and your immediate plan, like for tomorrow and for in the next years?
Right. I would say that in the short run, we for just only for the game itself. First, we want to build a fun game where everybody can enjoy, not only from the investor, but who come in to make a profit and then gone. We want the real player or gamer eventually to join us and stay with us as a long run. So that would be the best. And I want them to stay because they feel that the game itself is fun and it's something that they like. It's something that they feel relatable to. And we want to bring the GameFi project to the next level of fun. That is actually our mission. And not just only for the game itself, but we want to create the holistic experience for the players. And in the long run, we have a very, very long vision for the project. So our mission is to provide the interactive gaming experience for players. That, as I mentioned, we want to expand to the real world application and with a sustainable economic model. So we want to expand not just only from the game, but we want to expand to like comic licensing or like a comic and character licensing or animation, something in the nutshell of entertainment business. It is something that we really passionate on. I would mention back to the Ecio universe, Ecio verse. This is also the reason why that we spend a lot of time try to build the storyline for the Ecio itself. You know, it's not something that is very easy to build. We have to spend a lot of time brainstorm the idea and all the mechanic behind and plotting the entire game story and storyline of the character. It is something that we want to create as a strong foundation that will lead us to the next revenue stream or like next thing, just like Arcane, LOL, things like that.
Okay, thank you for it. I'm seeing a lot of questions. Robert, what's the name of your cat? People is asking that all the time.
Yeah, I saw that coming up. So my cat's name is Chapo, as in El
Okay.
Chapo. Yeah.
So now Rajesh, the guy that's in all our our AMAs ask, can you explain about the Lacrima? Can it be converted into Ezio token, and will it create differences in prices?
It will be definitely different prices because Ecio is the governance token, so it will have Ecio itself will have a lower chance drop. But like when you just only pay the mission mode, right, you can farm the Lakima token, and Lakima tokens just only require one character to play. But unlike the boss rate, when you want to like boss rate is actually the pay to earn. It is where you can drop the issue tokens. But in order to play the boss raid, you have to finish the 48 missions of the mission mode first, and boss raid will require 3 characters to play. So that will be something that you probably need to input more effort to in order to earn it. So that is why there will be definitely a difference in the market price value of the issue token and the Lakima token. But for the use case, there will be like when you want to upgrade the character, you will need both of them in order to upgrade.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Uh,
We have more questions. All right. Always active. Will there be a? That's a very good question. Will there be a AR or VR integration and metaverse, like I asked before, similar like gameplay?
Uh, as of now, we don't really have a full. I think I would say that it is something that we bear in mind, that and we has been discussing internally with the team, but it's not something that we come up with a legit plan yet. Because but I would say that one of our team, Ryan, he has a game studio, and himself is specialized in AR, VR, and MR. So it is not something far away that we cannot do. It is something very doable, but I would say it's just a matter of time, which is when, right? Uh, just I am not sure. I don't have the right answer for you at the moment whether we are moving toward there, but I am sure that we have all the materials that we need to do to make it happen.
okay, okay, thank you. I don't know if there's any more questions. Okay,
There
here we
is,
go.
George.
Yeah, Pika asked, how long of this game will I need to spend for whole time? I think you want to know how much time will I have to spend in order to finish the game or to be able to get the investment back? Do you have an approximation, more or less?
We try to scope it down to like 30 to 40 days, no more than that, because we want to find the right balance, that we don't want to make it too easy that people just come here to like make a profit, and we ran out of the reward when there are more people come in. So we think 30 to 40 days is the right amount of time where people don't like be too bored to play, and like it's too hard to get the reward, or to get the return on investment. But there is something that I would like to highlight here, is that in I would say that I would emphasize again that our game, regarding the ROI, 30 to 40 days itself, it's just only for the token, the issue token. But in our game, in boss rate mode specifically, we also drop NFT if you're lucky enough, and then you have a really amazing drop of the NFT token, where like let's say like a really epic reality of the NFT drop, then you can probably sell it in the marketplace and get a return within like 7 days, let's say.
Yeah, and I think the question was also about like the broadness of the game and how many levels there are, right? So with the different game modes, we have, let's say, the story mode, which you can play by yourself or with your friends. The game, I believe the beta game launches with about 48 missions over 4 chapters, and that will grow. That's an ongoing thing. And then on the other side, you have the PvP modes, the guild wars, all the ranking system, which are endless. They just keep on going also. So that's in terms of how long you can play the game, that is basically till the end of time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we're gonna go with the last question. Okay, so they are asking, does your game use Oracle system?
We how to say it? We use Oracle system just only for the for the gacha feature, but gacha is not something that you can play daily. We will open gacha just only for seasonal, and we will have a right balance of gacha to be released in each season. So that is how we implement the Oracle.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
thank
for
you.
that. Do we have any more questions from the back there? Sebastian, who's working hard to collect them. If not any questions in the meantime, did we already ask the question about the team, George, or not yet?
Yeah, as the last question, you maybe want to share something about your team or tell us something you think we forgot about it, or if there is anything else you want to say. So just, it's your time now.
Regarding the team, we are 24 in the we are it's 24 of us in the team as of now, and we have about 5 departments working inside the project. We have our dev team, designer, marketing, BD, and our spatial team called Ecio. We have a dedicated team that is responsible for comics design and the design of the player in-game experience and emotion. So what they do is actually very cool, and we have a serial entrepreneur CEO who successfully launched the number one industrial IoT platform in Asia. We have a strong development team backed by the game studio of the founder, who has won a UN award in animation and specialized in AR, VR, MR. And we also have really talented in-house designers. They are very fresh and creative. Apart from the team, we have extensive list of our strong partners who work closely with us. One of them is Moshi Lab that support us in developing the marketplace infrastructure, and also the community, media, and partners that help us reach to the different regions. So I that would be something that I would like to highlight regarding our team.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
thank you.
you very much. So obviously, we've asked a few questions. The community asked a few questions. I can understand that sometimes in the end, or when the AMA is already finished, you feel like, okay, I wish I said this, I wish I said that. You feel like you forgot something valuable for the players to know, or the people that are thinking about joining the Ecio family. If you would like to add something, Robert or Natalie, just something like, okay, I want to get this off my heart, just go for it.
Maybe I can go first. I think I would like to emphasize just one more time that we are spending a lot of time building the storyline, very good storyline of the game, and we are a long term project. And also one thing that I want to leave before I go, we have a lot of we have a lot of announcement and conversation going on in our community, especially the spoiler giveaway. And so I would like you guys who are like watching in this AMA right now to grab your phone and then go to Discord, go to Telegram, type it down, issue space, and enjoy our community. As IDO is coming up soon, very soon, like 7 days, I think. There will be a lot of news update every day, so make sure to stay up to date, stay tuned, and we are looking forward to see you again.
Okay, so Robert, you have to add something.
I think from my side, most importantly about this project, me as a gamer, I grew up playing games. I started, I think I was on the Nintendo, after that the Super Nintendo and so on. And like the process and the growth that you can make in a game, that has always been very exciting for me. And that is something what I found in this project as well, why I also am on board and why I also like it. And I think this is going to be something which is really attractive for other people as well who like to game, but who also want to be involved in the blockchaining NFT gaming space. It will be really accessible for them. It will be really fun for them, and it will also be really rewarding for them. So those are the things that I want to give at the end of this AMA as well.
So anyway, so don't forget to participate in the Gleam giveaway. Obviously, like Natalie said, don't forget to join all the social channels, Telegram, Discord, everything.
And hit the like and
Also,
subscribe, please.
yes, do that too. And Robert and Natalie, thank you for being here with us tonight. Thank you for making your time available to say a bit more to everyone about Ecio. Thank you to George. It's always hard for you to find time to be here, so thank you for coming. And,
Thank you too.
Yep, that's it from my
So I
side.
think
Thank you,
that's it.
everyone.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.